Welcome back. Thank you for watching one of our highlights from the Global Leadership Program Tour and visit held in Mexico. The video that you saw was from one of our wonderful visits at Tecnológico de Monterrey in Mexico. Thank you to all the partners that hosted the GELP Global Delegation. Congratulations. You have now arrived at the Senior Leadership Panel. For those who may not know, my name is Joel Hampson, and I'm the director for the leadership team here at GELP.
And my name is Hermine Corcalon, and I am the Strategic Partnerships Coordinator at GELP. And we will be your host for this event. Our team is excited to start, but first, we wanted to say thank you all for tuning in from around the world.
It is an honor to have so many of you join us in our live audience today. Make sure to tag us in your social media posts in Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn using the following hashtags: hashtag GELP, hashtag Global Summit 2024, hashtag Resilience Reimagined, hashtag Shaping Futures, and hashtag Empowering Communities. When you do this, you'll be entered into our social media contest to win a $100 Canadian Amazon gift card. Additionally, to receive your GELP digital badge for attending the Global Virtual Summit, you must fill out your pre- and post-summit survey.
Now, a quote from Priya Lakshmi. The Resilience Reimagined aims to taking organizations outside their everyday environment. It is designed to disrupt conventional thinking and spur creativity for constructing resilience within an organization. Thank you, Priya, for your submission.
At this moment, it gives us great pleasure to introduce our moderator for the leadership panel, Dr. Carrie Chassels. With a PhD in Education Administration, Dr. Carrie Chassels has been leading transformative change in post-secondary education for more than 20 years.
As an educator and senior leader at the University of Toronto, Vancouver Island University, the University of Guelph, and Northeastern University, Dr. Chassels has a proven track record of teaching executive leadership with emphasis on social and educational equity as foundations for organizational change, continuous improvement, and student success.
Dr. Carrie Chassels is particularly committed to fostering educational and workplace ecosystems that optimize the strength of diversity, especially the cultural, linguistic, experiential, and humanistic strengths of Indigenous peoples and newcomers to Canada.
Dr. Carrie Chassels is the current Associate Dean and Campus Administrator at Northeastern University in Vancouver. Dr. Chassels is also one of our special advisors at GELP, and she has been such an inspiration to the GELP team. That being said, please put your virtual hands together for Dr. Carrie Chassels.
Thank you so much, Hermine and Joel. What a wonderful introduction. And I could not be happier to be here with you, thousands of young leaders from around the world. Very exciting. And I know that our senior leadership panel is really looking forward to connecting with you through this virtual medium from 25 different countries around the world. We hear is where you're located. The senior leadership panel, as you know from the program, is going to allow us to focus on beyond boundaries, the journey of the lifelong leader in a globalized world. And we have 5 renowned leaders that are here today to share with you their lived experiences navigating their own leadership identities and the challenges and successes that they have encountered throughout their journey to senior leadership roles and responsibilities. Before I begin with some questions, each one of our panelists is going to introduce themselves and provide a 5-minute introduction around what the challenges and experiences have been for them as lifelong learners in a global world. So I'm going to start with Rahim Samani, the Vice President of Finance and Administration at the University of Northern BC. Mr. Samani, please introduce yourself and provide us with a little bit of your thoughts on lifelong learning in a global environment.
Thank you. So my name is Rahim Somani. I am the Vice President, Finance and Administration at UNBC. My family and I are respectfully grateful to live, work, learn, and play at the unceded traditional territories of Gledley-Tene. And as part of the University of Northern British Columbia, we work with a number of Indigenous and First Nation communities throughout the Northern BC. I have lived and 3 countries across 2 continents, which I thought was a big deal. But then I find out my 2 children have lived in 4 countries across 3 continents. And that resonates very well in terms of when we are talking about going beyond boundaries and the globalized world and see how the world is becoming more and more globalized as we move forward. At the beginning, I would also like to extend my sincere gratitude to the GULP team for inviting me to join this panel alongside other esteemed leaders. From my perspective, this summit provides an invaluable platform for global learners to connect and explore important topics that shape our lives. I'm truly honored to be here today to discuss the transformative journey of lifelong learning in our ever-changing and complex global society, where the only constants are change and uncertainty. The world is evolving at an unprecedented pace, making the pursuit of knowledge and learning more critical than ever. It is very essential that our learning has a purpose, as learning without purpose may not benefit our local communities and global society. To provide a sense of purpose, I draw inspiration from the wisdom of His Highness the Aga Khan. In one of his speech at the inauguration of a project in Warsaw, Mumbai in 1983, he remarked, "There are those who enter the world in such poverty that they are deprived of both the means and motivation to improve their lot. Unless these unfortunates can be touched with the spark which ignites the spirit of individual enterprise and determination, they will only sink back into renewed apathy, degradation, and despair. It is for us who are more fortunate to provide that spark." When we talk about this society, our global society currently faces a number of challenges. And I would say these can be categorized into 5 main categories. Number 1 is a climate challenge. Second is demographic. Third is technology. Fourth, geopolitics. And fifth, economics. And these are all intersecting challenges. And to navigate these intersecting challenges, we must equip ourselves to manage uncertainty through continuous learning and experimentation. As we look at the current models, which are risk-based models, these may not be suitable when we are talking about dealing with uncertainties because it requires a change in the mindset. When we talk about risk assessment and risk management, risk is based on historical evidence. When we are talking about uncertainty, uncertainty is all about unknown future. And that's why we need to create a new mindset to deal with that. And as we adapt to these changes, we have 2 choices, either to be fearful and pessimistic or to be hopeful and optimistic. And again, inspired from His Highness's word, which he spoke at the Aglon College in Switzerland in 2014, emphasizing the power of hope in uncertain times. And I quote, "You will be asking yourselves how, as nano players in the global scene, you could cause positive change to happen for yourselves, your families, your peoples. My answer is hope. Fortunately, just as fear can be infectious, so hope is also infectious. When individuals and families and communities or even nations come together around newfound hope, that new momentum can be unstoppable." He then placed the onus on all of us by saying the actual process of replacing fear with hope rests with every individual in his or her society. And they can become an enormous source of growing strength and reassurance for one another. I hope that that will happen to you. These words of wisdom have remained a guiding light in my personal and professional journey. When we talk about lifelong learning, it's not just about acquiring knowledge. It's a continuous process of adaptation and reflection. Beyond simply acquiring knowledge, the ability to learn how to learn is critical in today's world. With information readily available through social media and generative artificial intelligence, discerning what's relevant becomes increasingly important. Learning to navigate this abundance of information is a skill we must all cultivate. In today's world, learning includes formal education, hands-on experiences, mentorship, internships, and self-directed explorations. It's about equipping ourselves with the skills needed to thrive in an ever-evolving society and transforming challenges into opportunities. My own journey of lifelong learning has been shaped by a variety of experiences, whether through mentorship, life experiences, or formal education. There are countless avenues for growth. I have learned valuable lessons from my parents, my family, my mentors, communities, and my own personal and professional experiences, recognizing that life itself is the best teacher. Throughout my career, I have actively sought opportunities for growth through experiential and applied learning. Even in the midst of professional demands and job pressures, I pursued higher education to deepen my commitment to learning and leadership. In today's fast-paced environment, the skills essential for success are constantly evolving. Recent studies highlight critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, compassion, emotional intelligence, and leadership as key attributes for future growth. As lifelong learners, it is critical for us to cultivate these skills, ensuring our ability to navigate the complexities of our global society. And if you want to look at those skills, we can broadly categorize those skills into two main areas: the ability to think and the ability to manage people. And in order to achieve that, we also need to look at an iterative process, the cyclical process of learning, which is developing concepts or conceptualizing, experimenting, experiencing, and then reflecting and learning from it is fundamental to our growth. Through this iterative approach, we not only grasp new concepts, but also apply them in real world contexts, gaining invaluable experiential knowledge. With the rise of artificial intelligence and technology, new challenges and opportunities arise. While AI offers personalized learning experiences, it also demands adaptation in educational approaches. We may recall when the calculators were invented and when the calculators were adopted as part of the mathematics curriculum, the mathematics curriculum became more and more challenging. We must remember that AI can make predictions. However, humans are still required for making judgments. So AI is not substituting humans. So by embracing innovation and leveraging technology, we can enhance our learning journey and prepare ourselves for future. As we reflect upon today's discussion, let's consider our own journey of learning and growth. Let's embrace the diverse forms of learning available to us and emerge with a renewed sense of purpose and commitment to lifelong learning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Somani. So much to think about there. A few things that I really connected with and made some notes for myself. One, the importance of hope in uncertain times. That seemed like a really profound focus for me to take with me. And then turning challenges into opportunities. We hear this a lot, and I encourage our young leaders as they're thinking about that to really think about what that might mean in different times when they face their challenges. Also, Mr. Somani talked about the ability to think and the ability to manage people as really, really key. And then when you were talking about artificial intelligence and machine learning, robotics, I'm mindful of somebody who once asked if artificial intelligence is going to take away their job. And the response was, no, artificial intelligence isn't going to take your job. Humans who know how to effectively use artificial intelligence, they will take your job. So it's just an interesting way of thinking about how we're flexible and prepare ourselves to constantly be able to engage in the ever-changing world. So thank you for that, Mr. Samani, and we'll hear more from you when we ask some questions. Next, for introduction and an opportunity to hear opening remarks, Dr. C.R. Renee Robin, the Dean of Innovation at Sri Saram Group of Institutions in Chennai, India. Dr. Robin?
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone. Thank you, Celeste, and thank you, Mr. Somani, for the opening session, for the good kickstart, I can say. Learning starts from our own life. I given a message, the very big takeaway from your introductory talk. I thank the organizers for giving this wonderful opportunity to serve as a panelist in this forum. I'm representing Sairam Group of Institutions. It's located in Chennai, India. I'm Dean Innovation and Professor of Computer Science and Engineering. Let me start from my own life. Now, just 3 years before, when this current portfolio has been offered by the chairman and CEO of my institutions, Dr. Sai Prakash Leomuthu, I was just a professor of computer science and engineering. After seeing my profile, he asked me to take this new venture as Dean Innovation. Honestly, I'm admitting that I became Dean Innovation without knowing the proper definition of innovation. And over a period of 3 years, I have developed an innovation ecosystem for higher education institutions. It came because of the learning experience. From the base, I started learning what is innovation, and right now I can confidently say that how an education institution can migrate from the traditional education ecosystem to innovation ecosystem. That learning experience has made me to identify a success formula for higher education institutions and how we can be sustainable in the world, in the competitive world. And through which I strongly believe that I'm doing wonders in Sairam Group of Institutions among the especially the life of budding engineers. They asked me the lifelong learning. I heard this word from my father. I humbly remember the words of my father when I was in schooling. He used to say that you should learn till your death. Till your death. So that is the spirit injected by my father. And during my hard time in education, because most of the times I have studied while I was working, I have studied even my M.Tech Master of Engineering in College of Engineering, Indiana University. And while I was working, I did my PhD in Computer Science and Engineering in College of Engineering, Anna University, Guindy. It's reminded me, I faced a lot of tough times, and I always remember my father's words that you should learn till the end of your age. This message left by my father, and this lifelong learning has given me, at this right now, made me to sit in front of you as a panelist and addressing the global people, those are representing various countries. I remember that when I was attending a program on digitalization in the year 2015, the digital tools for teachers. I had a question that why should I learn this? I am already a professor. Why should I learn this digital tools for teaching? But in 2015, it was not mandatory for a teacher to learn all the digital technology because we strongly believed on the classroom lectures and so on. We have not experienced much on flipped learning or digital or the other platforms. So I registered myself and attended the program that has given me a lot of it became an eye-opener for me. And what I did in after completing this program, I have called all the faculty of my institutions where I have worked previously and taught them what I have learned. And I got a lot of opportunity when I was uh, telling them about the importance of digital technology in teaching. There were no much recipient from the community, teaching community. When I have experienced is when the lockdown came in 2020, I was the first person, even I started teaching the other faculty members globally how to teach the students or engage the students digitally. I started this campaign along with my wife, Dr. Doreen Robin, in the year 2020, March 24. We have started our first free webinar for the teachers globally, how to teach their engaged students digitally. We taught them various digital tools to the teachers. And I can say that during the pandemic period alone, we have trained around 10,000 teachers globally. What I want to say, why I'm saying this is, it's all happened because of this learning experience, whether it is required or not. Students, most of the participants are students. It is the responsibility of the students to upskilling yourself because you are living in a competitive world and the technology is growing very fast and every day new technologies are coming. And always, whenever I address my students, I always say that your competitor is not sitting next to you. Your competitor is not sitting inside your classroom. Your competitor is not sitting inside your campus. Your competitor is sitting somewhere. So since we are living in a competitive world, it is highly required to upgrade the skills of the skills. So lifelong learning is very essential. Not only students, also the faculty members. As my father said, it is required till the end of our age. And even yesterday, I have registered a course at MIT. The name is on post graduation in technology and innovation. Technology, leadership, technology, and innovation. I have registered the course, and I have to learn for the next 9 more months. I don't know how I'm going to balance this with my routine life. But anyway, it's a challenge. I know it's a challenging thing, and as it is highly required for me, like a leader. I want to become a leader. I want to upgrade myself. So I'm planning to move or jump from one position to another position. There are other leadership positions are there. So it is the basic responsibility for me or anyone to learn new technology. So lifelong learning is more important, and the technological enhancement, like AI, artificial intelligence, big data, and personalized learning is really not only for the all fields, even let it be finance, let it be commerce, let it be economics. So knowing the technology is very important, and especially the cyber security. And everyone is living in the cyber world, and we need to learn cyber security. In India, Government of India, through UGC, University Grant Commission, they have given a circulation to all the universities around India, that every student must learn cybersecurity. And they have made it compulsory for all the university students to learn cybersecurity, because a lot of threats are available in cyber world. So every student need to know about the threats available in cybersecurity in order to safeguard themselves. It is highly required to learn about cybersecurity. And students will know about the cross culture collaboration. So that is more important. Cross culture collaboration is more important. I still remember the first meeting which we had with the virtual meeting in 2019 with Omar and Gulf team, and followed by immediately, I got an opportunity to meet Gulf team in 2 times, in 2020 and in 2022. And in our institution, we have hosted the Global Gulf Marketplace in the year 2022, and we had interacted. And even this platform, we did a lot of mobilization to attend more students from the Sairam group of institutions. The reason is, and all the students are attending now, around 2,500 students are attending now. This provision has been given to all first year students. They just entered into engineering education from the school after the schooling. And the main reason is they need to know the cross-cultural collaboration, and they need to get the exposure, international exposure. This kind of exposure will definitely, I strongly believe that though it is a virtual program and off-day session and fully packed with the information and the knowledge transfer. So I really feel that happy that the participants are getting a lot of inputs from this virtual meet. This learning is going to be with them till the end of their age. I can say that. So whatever you learn, let it be it is related to their education, or sometimes it may not related to their education, but whatever you learn, that will help you at any point of time in your life. So learning is more important. So we always that we encourage people to read books. So reading books is more important, because when you read book, when you engage yourself in learning, you'll always feel that you are very fresh. You are fresh. I can experience the moment which I learn something new. My learning normally starts after 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. It goes till 1 o'clock. So I always remember that whenever I learn something new, I feel fresh. I won't get tired. So my message to the participants, especially the students, those who are attending globally, learn, learn, learn. So lifelong learning, whatever you learn, it will help you at any point of your life. Don't stop learning. Don't learn anything for some monetary benefit. It is not, don't think that if I learn this, what will I get? No, never. So if you learn something, definitely it will come to you till the end of your age. Don't stop learning. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Robin. Along with our global emerging leaders that are online, thousands of our learners online, I've been taking some notes and things that I will take away as well from your introductory talk. And one of the first things that I really thought about is you're talking about learn, 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 and you gave your 2015 example of the digital technologies for teaching learning that you did. But what you did is you learned and then you taught. You immediately went back to your colleagues and you said, I learned something transformative. Now let me share my learning with you. And so my lesson from you, Dr. Robin, is even though it's a competitive world where rising tides lift all boats. And we get ahead faster if we see ourselves as sharing the knowledge that we have, so that we're growing a stronger intercultural community of learners with our knowledge sharing. So to hear that you helped more than 10,000 teachers learn to use the digital technologies that you learned from that one opportunity that you took advantage of in 2015, that's impact. So I want to encourage our global emerging leaders online to think about ways that they can have impact by learning and sharing what they have learned, inspiring others as they were inspired to learn. Thank you. Continuing our introductions, next, I would like to welcome Klaus Zubieta, a Director of Assessment and Alternative Credentials at the Center at Tecnológico de Monterrey in Mexico. Klaus Zubieta, over to you for your introductory remarks.
Thank you. Nice to meet you all, and I'm very happy to be here sharing all about my experience as a lifelong learner. And I will say that my journey began when I was an undergrad student, where I was handing a scholarship, and my professors invited me to be part of online programs where I used to prepare certain materials, certain resources that were used there. And at that moment, my eyes were open to all that offer, to all those opportunities to learn about several disciplines, about several topics. So a couple of days ago, I think 2 or 3 days ago, at my institution, we celebrated the first 35 years of providing online education to different audiences. So there it was a moment of celebration. We were very happy. But when I was driving back home, I was realizing how much effort has been reduced and how much cost to learn about something has also been reduced. It's what we used to call democratization of learning. So um, at the beginning, when I was there as an undergrad student, we used to share knowledge through satellite broadcasting, and it was like a program, like a TV show we used to prepare there. And now we can share with our students, or we can learn from our teachers just with a cell phone, just through internet in a very much easier way. So I think that nowadays we have the big opportunity to learn about anything that we want to learn. So take advantage of that. You are living a very good moments as learners. You have the youth, you have all the energy, you have the curiosity. So please, and I will encourage you to learn, to be eager of learning, and there are no excuses. The programs are there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Zubieta. It's interesting, you started your journey and you talked about back as an undergraduate student, and you took advantage of a scholarship that you had, and now reflecting on the differences over time in how accessible learning opportunities are. And I really value the way you're encouraging our emerging leaders online with GELP to make sure they take advantage of all of those opportunities that did not exist years ago. And I hear your message, there are no excuses, because there are ways that you can learn almost anything for free, even online through different platforms. So do look for those opportunities. I appreciate that. And we'll hear more from you, Ms. Zubieta, when we come to our questions. Thank you. Next, for introductory remarks, I introduce Gunasundaram Gunamatu, the Chief Technology Officer at Up Capita Technologies in the UAE. Over to you, Mr. Gunamatu. Sorry, I'm very sorry about your name.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So, good day and greetings from Dubai, United Arab Emirates. So, my name is Gunasundaram Jnanamuthu. I come with around 3 decades of technology leadership experience, and I'm happy to be here. And about this lifelong learning, I have a very interesting background. So I'm from a very small village from India, Tamil Nadu state, and my parents were teachers. I had an opportunity to go to school very early as a toddler, so where my father was teaching and my mother went for some other work, leaving me as a baby at the classroom. So my father used to keep me aside in the classroom where he was teaching, and I was enjoying started my learning from there. So that is one interesting anecdote. Similarly, I had opportunity to start my learning of writing, starting with letters from the same school, where some other teachers took the responsibility to teach me how to write letters. Okay, so I was starting from the Tamil language and English language. So we had a very basic way of learning where we have the sand, and then we have just using our fingers. The teacher will show how to write the letter, and then immediately we can erase it, and then we can start writing on it. So that's how I started learning the alphabets. Later in my schooling days, somehow I ended up spending my time on libraries. Okay, so basically, I started reading something on the local language, my native language, Tamil. And then later I realized, okay, I should have opportunity to, learn and talk in English or read English. So I got interested in reading, English newspapers. And so that was funny, and other people were making fun of me. So everybody's looking at the local language and why you're, reading the English thing, which only senior people, learned people will do, but you're still in school. So that is one thing which created a lot of interest on different topics. So my curiosity started from those days. And in the schools, yeah, so I was the class topper, and I was always, I didn't find it difficult to learn something and getting so good scores and good marks. But later, I was having always a thirst for knowledge. And when I finished my graduation, so I did my science graduation, but somehow I'm not very comfortable. And when I went to the market for job searching for the science graduate, it was very difficult to get the jobs those days. I'm talking about 1993, that time. So that time, the computers were very, early in that. Very few institutions, offering the computer training. So there was an educational institution. It's called National Institute of Information Technology. They were offering computer trainings, and we. I had an opportunity to write a entrance exam and got a scholarship, and I got into the computers, and where I had an opportunity to start learning from very basic thing. At those days, we had very few programming languages. I started from basic program, COBOL and stuff like that. So there, I was able to demonstrate as a topper in the class, and by looking at the institution offered me a job of a faculty to teach other students after completing 1 year. So it was a 2 years program. It was an advanced diploma program, and 1 year I completed, and second year onwards I was teaching and learning simultaneously. So then, after 1 year of servicing there, then I wanted to get into a software development. So I moved to a different city, Chennai. So where I worked with different technology companies, and I was able to do well in my work. And professionally, whenever there is a new technology coming up, so we have to upgrade. So we are forced to upgrade, otherwise we cannot survive. And so in order to get advanced in the current roles, and always, we have the pressure to learn something. Otherwise, maybe we'll have to get stuck. We'll get stuck in the same place. So at that time, then I was looking, okay, I'm only working in India, so why can't I explore different options? So that's how I ended up in year 2000. I moved to Dubai, and at that time, that is the first time I was able to get into real businesses, and an opportunity to meet a different type of people from different countries. Okay, as on today in Dubai, UAE, we have around 200 nationalities. So similarly, in year 2000, probably around 10 to 20 nationalities were there in any single company. So it was like something like a cultural shock for me. So where all along I was in a different country, and I'm into a new country. So I have to learn, how to communicate with them, and then there is a lot of learning from different type of people. And being a technology consultant at that time, so I had opportunity to get more knowledge about how businesses are working, and what is the businesses are looking for, and then how to solve the problem. So basically, there are a lot of communication skills, I was able to gain, and probably working with the business setup and all those things, I was able to gain. So later, I was like a developer, technology consultant. Then later, okay, we are doing something, very basic. So how to get to the next level? So then I thought, okay, I'll have to do something. So at that time, after 4 or 5 years of work in the Middle East region, and I went back to India, and there I started doing my Master of Business Administration, as well as I wanted to become a project manager kind of a role. So then I started learning about project management. I got myself trained and certified. So there again, it was from PMI, Project Management Institute. So I learned and got certified as a project management professional. So there they have a concept of continuous learning. So again, I was supposed to learn every time, every 3 years I have to earn some 60 credits. So still now, from 2005 till now, I'm maintaining that certification, by upgrading myself. So that is one trigger point, where the lifelong learning was ensured. Okay. So later in my career, whenever there is something coming newly in my profession, or something I wanted to learn myself, be it a business side or be it a technology side, I always identified. I do an analysis of where are we right now and what we want to do next, and then maybe once in a year I do that, and then based on that I create a bucket list of, okay, these are the things I want to do, and then I invest time and money and energy on learning, and then not only learning, whatever I learn, I go back to my teams wherever I work, or wherever I have an opportunity to mentor someone. So I used to teach them. And then wherever I have opportunity to actually to implement whatever I learned. So that is how, I got into leadership roles right now. So in my experience, I cannot stop learning. And I strongly recommend every single participant here to remain curious and start learning. Don't stop learning. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Guna. It's interesting. There's a theme here about our executive leaders who are on the panel, who themselves are both learners and teachers, and I think that is it resonates with me in my own journey as well. If you are passionate about something and you are a lifelong learner, and you are excited and impassioned, and through that you inspire others, then people see that, and you get these opportunities to move into more and more senior leadership roles, because people see leaders, good leaders, as good teachers, as people who inspire and continuously help everybody do better and be better. Curiosity. And I also took from your example, Guna, the importance of going back to school. As well. You went back to get another academic credential in project management. Your title now is Chief Technology Officer, but having that a project management education, I'm sure, has helped you not only get to where you are as a Chief Technology Officer, but also to be able to mentor, support, guide, set expectations for the project managers that report to you and support your various teams. So thank you for sharing that. Our last introduction and introductory comments are from Mauricio Sabogal Salamanca, Director General, LCI at Monterrey in Mexico. Over to you, please, Mauricio.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm very happy to be here with such an interesting group of people of several countries. I am a Colombian living in Mexico, in Monterrey. I am a part of the leader team of a Canadian institution that is devoted to art, fashion, and design, and it has a global presence, which is LCI Education Network. And we have an operation here in Mexico, and I'm in charge of the campus operation and also in charge of the education development here in the country. Okay, so I just have 5 short stories of what it means or has been the meaning of lifelong learning in my life. So I will first start talking about the sense of adventure and thirst for learning. Yeah, it has been always with me, and I think with all of you as attendees or as panelists, you have this thirst for learning. I have heard from all my colleagues, but I think it's not only the thirst for learning, but always learning with a purpose. When I was starting my PhD, I started a PhD in Austria, in Vienna, and I am thinking I'm going to finish it in Spain because I changed my institution. I was thinking, okay, one of my passion is learning about agribusiness and how to support the small communities in my country. So I was thinking, okay, I am going to start a PhD, but I would like to start researching about how can we improve production of local communities with a product that I love, which is chocolate. Yeah. So my PhD is about how we can insert small communities into global business with fair trade. So I'm now like experiencing this understanding, and I find this very, very interesting. The second is start by traveling without going out of your house, because we think, okay, I am going to wait until I have the money, enough money for traveling and perhaps spending 2 years or 3 years in Europe or in the United States or in Asia or wherever. But when I was young, I was thinking, I don't need to take a plane, and perhaps I don't have enough resources right now to do it. So I will start by reading, by understanding other people's in other people's lives in other parts of the world, just by reading novels, just by watching movies, just by interacting with online friends in other countries. So I started traveling even when I hadn't enough resources to travel. So the third thing could be the capacity to innovate. Yeah, in innovation, as perhaps a previous college was talking, and I am going to just define pretty quickly, is just put together two existing things that are apparently not connected together to create something really new. Yeah, but using all resources available, and our countries, and I'm thinking about Mexico and Colombia, but also with this huge amount of people from many countries, I am thinking about the emerging countries where not all resources are available, and we need to be very smart in using what we have. It is the weather that we have that it could be an advantage for us. It is, for example, the strong availability of some resources, perhaps rain, perhaps soil fertility. It is perhaps a lot of people living there, and we can take advantage of their minds and their passion for something. So the capacity to innovate and to bring together things that are not necessarily connected, it is pretty related to what makes a lifelong learner. Fourth story, and I think will be my last, will be the humility and empathy and the capacity to understand other people's realities. Yeah, I think other people sometimes are your most valuable teachers. Yeah, when I was professor, I was always convinced that we need to work with communities, and we need to really understand what are the problems. We cannot do some kind of education that are not connected from the local necessities of people. So when we were visiting poor communities close to Bogota in my home country, we were really experiencing how these people approach to resources, how these people try to change their reality with their own limited resources, and how can they really solve problems using smart solutions. So in a way, you become a learner when you try to teach something, because you expose to other realities, and you can receive in return a lot of knowledge. And I think, just for finishing, that right now we have a huge challenge to empower large parts of the population that nowadays don't have access to education. So, for example, here in Mexico, just 1/3 of the people that is available to study undergraduate education does study in a university. The rest, what are the rest of the people doing? Obviously, they enter to a job market, earning very small salaries, and their future perspectives are very limited. So we as leaders, we need to find ways to really help these people to have access to education in our own communities. So thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you, Mauricio. Again, the theme of learning and teaching. And what I took away from your 5 stories is how important it is that we look at what we have. You know, it's easy to be aware of what you don't have, but then when you're looking for solutions, see what you do have and how you can take something that you have and turn it into something that's going to help solve the problems. But first, make sure you understand the problem, learn from other people, listen, ask lots of questions to make sure that if you're trying to solve a problem that you see from your perspective, that you've actually considered how it is experienced by a variety of people from different perspectives, so that your solution isn't just solving your issues around it, but it has that broader implication. And again, on that teaching element, how do we ensure that people who do not have access to the privileges that we have in post-secondary education, how can we still be teaching and learning and building capacity for others? I really love that. So I thank our panelists very much. I know I took many notes, and there are some really key pieces that are going to stay with me as I reflect and as our emerging leaders reflect. I have a few questions remaining. I won't invite each panelist to respond, but for some different panelists to respond to different questions. So first, I'm going to turn to you, Clau, and ask you, is there a person in your professional or personal life that you see as a role model for lifelong learning? And what makes that person stand out for you as a role model for lifelong learning?
Well, thinking in the professional context and working at a university, for sure there are a lot of colleagues and students which inspire me to continue learning. But thinking on the personal perspective, I will say my grandmother, Amparo, which was my father's mother. When she was young, she used to dream to be a teacher. But as you may know, in emerging countries, as it was not easy for Mexican women to have access for education. So she got married and raised a family. But that didn't stop her to learn. She was a truly eager learner. She had a strong spirit to learn, and she took advantage of every opportunity. For example, she learned from reading the newspaper, from TV programs. The TV at that moment was used to educate populations. She even learned from mail post courses. So for me, it's amazing to realize as an adult how how she developed a way of being a lifelong learning with all those technologies that we have right now. So if she did it, for sure we can do much more. And we ladies, young ladies, please trust that we can continue our professional careers, and that we are same value. We have the same value as in society, and that we can believe it. Thank you.
A very powerful message. I really appreciate that. I'm a big fan of girl power, and I do think that sometimes women and young girls can allow themselves to be convinced that they're not able to do the things that they really are very capable of doing, and feeling empowered. I love that. Also, Maurizio, you have somebody in your mind, I think, to share with us as a role model for lifelong learning, and what makes that person a role model to you.
Yes, I have. In fact, this is someone from my family as well. Is my uncle Fausto. He's religious from a Franciscan community, which has different charities around the globe. He was against the family, the tradition of the family, because he decided to become a priest at a very young age. He was against the family because he decided to leave the country when the family was very close one to another, and he lived in several countries, in Peru, in Guatemala, in Bolivia, like founding and administrating houses for elderly people that are lack of resources, and they were taking care of them. And he was like an entrepreneur because he was finding resources, and he was like, and I went to discover how hard it is for these people to find resources for the ones that don't have. Yeah. And because of the pandemic, he needed to close one of the houses in Bolivia, and he was pretty affected, and he needed to come back to Bogota to recover himself spiritually and mentally. And then he became and started a new like business inside the Franciscan organization, because he started like a small farm with an agribusiness, similar to what I am thinking in my PhD, around not only cocoa and coffee, but also avocados. And he wants to launch this as a part of helping the community to have more resources. So he's a lifelong learner because he has defied several times like the standards and the current knowledge, and also he have suffered lost, and he also has the resilience to recover and also to start again, and not and for him life ends when it ends, and I'm very emotional of sharing this part of his life, because he has been such an inspiration for me.
You've taken us right back to the beginning with Rahim, where he talked about the importance of hope and the importance of turning challenges into opportunities. And I'm going to challenge our 3 remaining panelists to think of a 30-second answer to question 3, which is going to be a bit of a combo with a question from our audience, if I could. And literally 30-second response, starting with you, Dr. Robin, on what tip can you share with young leaders to help them build a foundation for lifelong learning? And if you can include something that they're going to need specifically because of the age of technology that we live in, that would help our audience, because that was a popular question from the audience.
Yeah, thank you. Though we are living in a world which is filled with the technology, innovation, and I'm a professor of computer science and dean innovation, I know the importance of technology I know the importance of innovation, and the time it is a hard time to migrate from the traditional things to the innovative things. But I still remember. I want to strongly convey this message to all the participants. The thing is, we need to think about our planet. We need to think about our planet. The first tool you're supposed to take in your hand is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Hope you all remember the 17 goals given by the United Nations to be attained before 2030. Though it is very difficult, challenging for everyone to attain this in the year 2030, but it is the responsibility of every individual to implement the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Let it be the goal number 1, no poverty; goal number 2, zero hunger; goal number 3, good health and well-being; goal number 4, quality education; goal number 5, gender inequality. And it goes till the 17th goal, partnership for the goals. Even I strongly believe and support, I promote the goal number 17. Even this panel discussion is a part of the goal number 17. I can map it with the goal number 4, quality education. I can map this event with goal number 17. GELP has taken a wonderful initiative of having this partnership and making the people from all over the globe to gather in a forum virtually, and we are all discussing. My strong message to all the students and leaders: please support sustainable development goals, because we are going to have a lot of challenges are in front of you. I know this is a message I wanted to tell the education institution, because during my introductory speech, I talked about the innovation ecosystem for higher education institution, which we have developed, designed and developed. I devoted at almost 2 to 3 years for researching it, and the outcome is the innovation ecosystem for higher education institution. The cynosure is
Fantastic.
The
Fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Robin. I must move on. 30 seconds, Guna, please. 30 seconds, your tip for a young leader as a lifelong learner foundation. Really seriously, 30 seconds.
Thank you. Actually, I strongly recommend all the participants, as I mentioned earlier, stay curious and look at, as Dr. Robin mentioned, the sustainability and technology. These are the two areas we are also working very closely with the communities. We created some communities for creating awareness of a lot of things happening on the technology and towards SDG goals. So we are encouraging different parties like professional students and entrepreneurs and business leaders. So all we are bringing together and then creating a platform for learning. So probably in your locality, there may be such communities will be there. So this is the place where you can gain a lot of knowledge, and we are already contributing to it. And I recommend people to participate in such events and start learning. And if you are interested in learning more, you can learn more about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, another theme in terms of sustainability and the planet, and focusing on sustainability as a foundation for your lifelong learning, even in the age of technology. Rahim, over to you for our last bit of advice for our thousands of emerging leaders who are online with us for today's summit.
I would say shift the focus from simply thinking about what you want to be when you grow up to considering what problems you want to solve for the world and what impact you want to make. And remember that we can do anything you want to make. It's not about whether somebody can do something or not. It's about somebody wants to do something or not. So if the person has a will, they can achieve it. And by focusing on the impact you wish to create and the problems you want to solve, you will find purpose and motivation in your learning journey. This will not only help you grow personally and professionally, but also inspire those around you to strive for betterment and innovation and a better quality of life.
What an incredible way to wrap up an incredible panel. so many inspiring stories, so many inspiring tips and recommendations and profound thoughts for us to carry with us as we go through the rest of the summit and through our lives as lifelong learners, making impact on the world and others around us. Thank you so much. I now turn it back over to you, Joel and Harmeen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Carrie Chassels, and everyone on the senior leadership panel. Like, what an insightful and impactful discussion that we've had today. I know there's a lot that we can take back and really think about. And so I'm really excited to hear the feedback and what the delegates actually write about this. So let's give a virtual round of applause one more time for our amazing moderator and panelists.
We hope you enjoyed this very special senior leadership panel, and we look really forward to seeing you for our first workshop, Youth for Change, Empowering Student Leadership. Join us and hear the amazing journeys and stories of some of our Guelph campus chapter presidents who are leading the way and creating impact at their campuses.
Before we head to the next session, we would like to share a social media post from one of our delegates. To me, resilience reimagined means to find unique ways in order to face life challenges and situations through skills and innovative mindsets. This will help us continue gaining experience and inevitably share with this world. Thank you, Ivana Sofia Salazar Barrientos from LCI Monterrey, Mexico, for your insights. A reminder to everyone, when you are sharing your reflections on social media, be sure to tag at Global Emerging Leadership Programs on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, along with the hashtags.
Also, thank you, Kim Brown from Philadelphia, USA, who has shared with us their quote, "Resilience Reimagined signifies a fresh, innovative approach to understanding and cultivating resilience by incorporating new strategies, holistic perspective, inclusivity, future-focused adaptability." So once again, thank you, Kim Brown, for your inspirational words, and we look forward to seeing you all in the next session.